in today's show. We're looking ahead to Friday in the NBA. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com and at Yahoo Sports Australia. And you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. It's time for us to look ahead to Friday, what we can stream in for Yahoo Points Leagues, ESPN Points Leagues, all your standard categories as well as some back-to-back looks at the end of the week. Warnie.
Let's get it on, Gilly.
Let's start with Yahoo Points Leagues. What are we looking at there? Who are we streaming in? Well, this name is going to become pretty common for today, and that is Kris Dunn. Yes, I can't believe that it's year 2022, and a bloke who hasn't been on a roster all year is a guy that's going to have impacts in fantasy world. Kris Dunn. He started last game. He can put up good assists and good steals. He can put up terrible shooting. He hasn't cracked 30 minutes yet, but he hasn't gone under 20 in any game. And I think there'll be another opportunity for him to start. Whether that actually turns out to be the case or not, I don't know. But there is a real opportunity here for him to do that. And there is some significant value in looking at him, especially when I consider that Justice Winslow probably doesn't play and Josh Hart doesn't probably play also, or may not play. We don't know about that. But regardless, Dunn's got value. Yeah, his teammate just signed his fourth 10-day. Didn't know you could do 4, but there you go. Hardship. They got the hardship exception, sorry. Drew Eubanks. Yep. Starting center. Big numbers. Absolute must-roster bloke at this point, especially with the Friday, Saturday back-to-back coming up. The two old standards, old favorites, Paddy Beverly and Jared Vanderbilt. Both of those guys are under 50% on Yahoo. They both should be on rosters. They both play on Friday. You shouldn't be leaving them alone. They play again Sunday. 2 games in 3 nights. Yeah, got to add him. Alec Burks in New York.
Alec Burke.
I think we have to be losing faith that Derrick Rose is ever coming back this season. So Burks is going to lock in this spot. We might have Randall out again. In the last 2 games without Randall, Burks has done really well. Now, of course, if Randall is out, Obi Toppin becomes a great stream for us, but we don't know that at this point. Mason Plumlee is a decent stream option. He's much better than Montrezl Harrell. He's getting good minutes. He can be up and down, of course, but that role enables him to have some value. The delicate dancer, Alperen Şengün.
It's a delicate dance in just 17 steps.
He's going to be out there dropping the Glauberman method over the Blazers. I would expect he's playing some minutes next to Wood, and they are just ramping his usage up a little bit as well, which is good. My man, Killian Hayes, I don't know what they do with Corey Joseph. Is it time for Corey to rest in this game? I honestly just have no idea. He's been, he sat on Monday, he played on Wednesday, he might sit again on Friday, who bloody knows, but Killian Hayes surely gets 30 minutes regardless. Gallinari, the Italian cock.
Hands off my cock!
He's back off the injury report, so he should be starting in place of Johnny Collins, and that means there's an opportunity for us to use him yet again. And then the guy who Kris Dunn did replace as the starter, Brandon Williams in Portland. In points leagues, the volume's fine. And if Winslow's going to miss, as I expect, or Hart's going to miss, then he probably still will start next to Kris Dunn and maybe be able to bring us some value there. For ESPN points leagues, a lot of the same names, Dunn, Eubanks, but Trenton Watford's available in over 70% of ESPN leagues. And his starting role, while it's not huge, he's not playing 39 a night. He's like 31, 32. It's good. It's good enough to be rostered for sure, especially for a back-to-back. Pat Beverly, Vanderbilt, Plumlee, Burke, Şengün. DeAndre Hunter's available in a lot of ESPN leagues. Go and roster him. And Otto Porter Jr. is off the injury report. He will play for the Warriors. He will play, I would guess, a relatively decent role. He's played really well the last 2 games, rebounding a ton. So he should be ready to go as well. That's some really good options that you can use over there. One of the best options, though, you can consider is BetOnline, especially with March Madness and the college basketball tournament finally upon us. BetOnline gives you all the latest odds, contests, and player props as your number one source for all of your sports betting needs and info. BetOnline is not just basketball. It's your continued source for all of your sports wagering information needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. But if you want to talk basketball, let's have a look. There's a game, let's with this one, Providence, Kansas. Kansas 7.5-point favorites. The Jayhawks. Who's Providence? I know it's Kris Dunn's team. I don't know what their nickname is. Anyway, I'm going to take Kansas minus 7.5. You can find those odds over at BetOnline. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in the action. BetOnline is where the game starts. Let's go to category leagues now. And we look at the points category. Who are we going to stream in for that category? It is the Italian cock, Danilo Gallinari, who will start and play 30, I would guess, maybe more. Corey Kispert for the Wizards. Kyle Kuzma still dealing with that issue with his knee. We don't know whether Kuz will play. We know he's sitting on Thursday. We don't know whether he's going to play on Friday. But regardless, Kispert's going to start and get good minutes. Reggie Bullock's a good points guy. Torian Prince with Jaden McDaniels out. And then it gets a little bit iffy. Eric Gordon will probably sit one of the Friday, Saturday back-to-back games. Which one? I don't know. But he can be a point streamer. KJ Martin might be an option as well. Dennis Schroeder. Yes, we know he's going to get minutes inexplicably and take shots inexplicably. So that might help you. Dwight Powell's been on a roll. He's had like 2 big scoring games in the last week. And his role is relatively secure. In LA, if Terrence Mann hasn't been taken, then you look at him. Otherwise, Amir Coffey, Luke Kennard. Both of those guys can be options to stream in for the points category. If you're looking for threes, a lot of these names double up. Reggie Bullock, Corey Kispert, Luke Kennard, Torian Prince. But throw Malik Beasley in there as well, who can get ice cold but can also get red hot. You can get 6 triples, you can get 0 points. That's just who Beasley is. George Niang takes a lot of threes. He might have 9 points, but they all might be from deep, and that's useful. Eric Gordon, Gallinari, Gary Bird, especially if Eric Gordon is out. Garrison Matthews will start, and he's been shithouse. But one thing he does do is take every one of his shots basically from behind the arc. So that has value to stream in for that category. And then Benny McLemore, who's been playing really well, especially with Josh Hart out. And he struggled a little bit when the games that Hart plays. So watch that one. But with how he's playing, it's good that they're prioritizing him over Elijah Hughes or over Keon Johnson or any of those young players who might potentially have a future. Lucky we're getting McLemore playing those big minutes. But that's something that we have to pay attention to. We have to take into account when we're looking at the value of these players. For rebounds, Kevon Looney and Otto Porter, 2 Warriors guys. Porter has grabbed double-digit rebounds his last 2 games. He's an excellent option. Looney's numbers have been down, but I still think he's an interesting rebound streamer. Then you go to Gallinari and Okongwu in Atlanta. No Collins. Okongwu's playing well. He's outplaying Capella most nights at this point. One who is going to be available everywhere is Greggy Brown III. Greggy Brown played 27 minutes last game, especially with Winslow out. He's getting some backup. If Winslow's out, it means Watford plays at the 4 more. So Brown gets some minutes, backup 4, backup 5. He played 27, 12, and 27 in his last 3 games. So, yeah, it's obviously pretty inconsistent. But there's some upside there. Dwight Powell, Denny Avdia, good rebound streamers. Maxi Kleber, the worst player in the NBA, DeAndre Jordan, can be a streamer for rebounds because he is going to play minutes. And he does pull down rebounds. And Kris Dunn is a pretty good rebounder as well, as an out-of-position rebound option. For the assists category, well, again, it does get really rough for this one, but there's some really good options at the top. Kris Dunn, Killian Hayes, probably Killian Hayes at number 1 here. Kris Dunn, Dennis Schroeder, Ish Smith, and Hal Neto. Some real good value for those guys in that assist category. After that, it's a drop-off. We go to Jordan McLaughlin, who's had a double-digit assist game this season coming off the bench, so keep that in mind. Saban Lee, maybe. That's if Corey Joseph gets ruled out. Because if Corey Joseph plays, Lee, of course, won't be developed. He'll be sat on the bench. And Joseph will come in there and steal 18 minutes. But if he's out, you'll get 20 minutes of lead. You might get 5 assists and 3 steals behind Hayes. Luke Kennard can get assists. And then you go Kevon Looney and Eric Gordon. As I said, it gets pretty rough after those first 5 names on that list. For steals, we're going to headline it again with Chrissy Dunn. He's a 5-steal upside bloke. So is Gary Payton. The doctor comes in there, plays some minutes. How many minutes? I don't know. But enough to get a couple of steals. Otto Porter and Killian Hayes are really good steals options as well. And then Saban Lee, if he plays, he's got 3 steal upside. But I don't know if he's going to play. because he has been assigned to the G League today, but he might be back tomorrow. Delon Wright's a good steals guy, and they have been pushing some extra minutes into Delon of late. That's with Lou Williams out, and Lou will return. But Delon's got some good value. Cody Martin's a good steals guy, playing all those minutes over Kelly Oubre. Torian Prince, Hull Neto, even Keon Johnson, if you want to go real deep and real rare. Keon Johnson can get a steal. Now, they might play him 15 minutes, which is ridiculous, but they might. He can still get a steal or two in those minutes, and it's about just getting guys. And again, if you want to attack that category and everyone else is gone, they probably won't be, but that's just a deeper league option that we can pay some attention to. In the blocks category, Isaiah Hartenstein, he's played more minutes than Zubats 3 in a row. I don't trust Ty Lue in his rotation a single second. I don't trust it at all. Right, but Hartenstein can have 2 steals, 2 blocks, 10 boards, 15 points in 18 minutes. It's possible for him. So he's a great block streamer. So is Okongwu. While Maxi Kleber is the biggest feast or famine bloke out there, it's either going to be 0 blocks or 5 blocks. Obviously, that's hyperbolic, but it's not far off the truth. Truth? Jesus. Truth. That's the word I'm trying to say. Greggy Brown, good shot blocker as well. Nazareth Reed, he's doing it in some low minutes. And then it's a drop-off. Killian Hayes, yeah, he's a good guard shot blocker, but maybe you get a block. Kris Dunn, Dwight Powell, Nick Batum, who's limited to 19 minutes for a very weird, specific limit, that is, but that's what it is. And Jericho Sims, if Mitchie Robinson's out, we really do like that value of Simsy coming in there and producing that value. Now, I'm just having a look to see if there's any news on Pistons, guys. They have upgraded Frank Jackson to play, and Jeremy Grant and Corey Joseph are not on the injury report. So that's very interesting. And Andre Iguodala has been upgraded to questionable. So they're not resting Grant and Joseph at this point. Very, very interesting to see them do that. And the pattern of how they rest blokes makes literally no fucking sense at all. Just commit to one thing or the other. None of this bullshit in and out. It's what makes this part of the year so frustrating for us in fantasy. But it's not frustrating to get involved with NBA Top Shot, the NBA's officially licensed NFT. Connect with a community of hundreds of thousands of NBA fans, and it's a natural progression from fantasy sports and a way to upgrade your experience as an NBA fan. It's the future of what being an NBA fan is like. What it is, it's part trading card. So instead of a static image on cardboard, you're talking about a video highlight. It's part stock market. Every day, millions of dollars worth of NFTs are traded back and forth between tens of thousands of NBA fans. So the player plays well, you sell high, you buy low, you invest in rookies, all that sort of stuff. That's like fantasy sports as well. We know to buy low, sell high. It's exactly the same as NBA Top Shot. Yes, you could go and watch an NBA player's highlight on YouTube. That's not the point of this. Having these moments is investing in something, playing the stock market, getting value in these moments, the rarity, the numbers, the specific moments they put out. It's all what it's all about. So go and check it out. If you want to start up, go over there and get yourself a starter pack. You could pull an NFT of a superstar like LeBron or KD, or star rookies like Cade or Mobley for $9. If you don't pull your favorite player, you can snag moments from the marketplace that appeal to you. So go to NBA Top Shot and check it out for yourself. It's that time for me to tell you about Built Bar. I hope you were here for the mailbag show earlier today. We did a live Built Bar unboxing of the Built Bar Puffs lemon dip cheesecake. And I tell you now, the box is sitting down here at my feet, and I really want to have another one. They were so good because these taste delicious. They're treats, but they're protein bars. Low calories, low fat, low sugar, high protein. 17 grams of protein in most of these bars, including these puffs, which are protein-infused marshmallow. I'm going to hold them up for you so you can see that I'm not lying. There you go. Built Bar Puffs in hand. Grab yourself a box. I'm going to leave them right here in front of me on the desk. Get them and get them 15% off. Go to built.com. Use the code LOCKED15, LOCKED15, and get yourself boxes and boxes, like I did, of Built Bar. Built Bar is, like I'm becoming, built different. Let's go to field goal percentage. How can we influence that category? Well, let's start with Dwight Powell, Onyeka Okongwu, Isaiah Hartenstein. Very, very good options for that category. KJ Martin and Gary Payton. You might not think of them that way, but they are very good field goal guys. And then we go to DeAndre Jordan, Kevon Looney, Jericho Sims, Nazareth Reed, and Trenny Forrest. Although I'm not that big on that Trent Forrest one. Free throws. A lot of good options here, a lot of them. Gallinari, the best by a mile. Then Amir Coffey, Dennis Schroeder, Luke Kennard, Louis Williams, Reggie Bullock. Some really good free throw shooters here. Corey Kispert, Delon Wright, Frankie Ntilikina, and BJ Boston maybe, if you're getting very desperate in deeper formats. Lastly, let's have a look at some back-to-backs. You've got the Friday-Saturday combination Who are some guys that you can add here to help you out? Well, we're looking at Portland guys. We're looking at Houston guys. Miami has a back-to-back as well on the Friday-Saturday combination. So who can you add in to help you across those 2 days that play the 2 games? Yeah, Kris Dunn, the obvious one. Dennis Schroeder, I expect to play both games. KJ Martin, Greggy Brown, if you're looking for the defensive big man numbers. CJ Allaby, especially with Winslow on Hart, uncertain. Gary Bird, with Eric Gordon, probably going to sit one of those games. They have some real value. If you want to talk about the rest of the week, the 3 days remaining in the week in terms of who has the games across those 3 days, you've got a bunch of teams that play 2 games in 3 nights. The Blazers, the Rockets, the Pelicans, the Nets, Mavericks, Warriors, Heat, Jazz, Knicks, Hornets, Wizards, Pistons, Sixers, and Wolves. They play 2 games in the 3 nights. Everybody else plays just the 1 game. In terms of injury news that we need to keep an eye on for Friday's action, we know Hassan Whiteside's questionable. Bogdanovic is out, by the way, in Utah. So we're looking at, it looks like Joseph and Grant are going to play. Bogdanovic and House are out. Hayward is out. Draymond, Clay, and Porter and Gallinari are all returning, while Iguodala is questionable. Steph is out. Julius Randle and Mitchie Robinson are both questionable. Caleb Martin, PJ Tucker, Jimmy Butler, and Tyler Hero are all questionable. Duncan Robinson's questionable. So we might get a big Max Strus opportunity or maybe a big Caleb Martin opportunity in that game. Oladipo's out again. You've got, that is a back-to-back, so he's sitting the first one of those. Luka's off the injury report, so he'll return. Josh Harden, Justice Winslow, I'd be a bit iffy there. Simons will remain out. And Paul George remains out, while Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, Nick Batum are all having, as I die, having some limited minutes restrictions. That will do it for me today, guys. Don't forget to follow this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and on the Odyssey app. If you are here on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below, guys. We are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.